Hi, and welcome back to Morgellons discussion in microscopy videos. I'm your host, Jeremy Murphy, and today we're going to be talking about the stigma that's associated with chronic Lyme disease, and the crazies out there who just will not accept the fact that the evidence is clear Lyme disease can be chronic in spite of antimicrobial therapies. That's right. Looking at a new movie today which highlights the plight of the Lyme disease patient, from the negligence of the medical community to the marginalization by friends and family. This new film, I'm Not Crazy, I'm Sick, highlights the struggles that Lyme disease patients endure just trying to get recognition. I also definitely want to welcome our new members, Brianna Rishnick and Rita Willie Austin area. Thank you for joining our show and becoming the latest Morgellons discussion members. Thank you so much for coming on board and helping us out to keep this channel going, to keep making episodes like this. And to all the members who have been helping me out for the past several months and years, thank you so much. We are going to keep going with this. We're going to deliver quality content that's going to make others sit up and realize, hey, there is something to this Morgellons condition, something tangible, something that is backed by empirical evidence. And if you would like to become a member, just click the link below and you'll have access to all our private members only videos. Yo, another thing I want to do while I'm on here is talking about the tick recovery herbal extract from Samsara Herbs. I don't know who sent me this. They sent it to me a long time ago. I put it in the freezer and I just didn't use it until recently. My doctor had recommended that I start taking Japanese knotwood, and that's the #1 ingredient in this thing. So I've been taking it, and to be honest with you, it's really helped quite a bit, especially with the inflammation. Just seems to help me keep a lot more chilled out, you know, and get things going and move in the right direction. So yeah, whoever sent this to me, please comment, let me know that you sent this to me. I highly appreciate you introducing me to the Samsara Tick Recovery Herbs. They also sent me the biofilm Samsara, which I have been taking. I'm not taking it this week because I'm on the break from the antimicrobial agents, and so I don't want to be anti-biofilming while I'm not taking the antibiotics. But yeah, this is great stuff. Thank you so much whoever sent this in to me, and just let me know. I know it was years ago. I think the copyright on this thing says, I thought it said like 2015, 2016, something like that. But yo, expiration date, best by 12/18/2019. So it's just been sitting in the freezer ever since I got it. I finally cracked it open, and it's good. So as you've probably already noticed, we're dealing with a new studio setup over here. Basically, my computer monitor that sits right over there, that's typically what I use to read scripts from. I'm gonna look online and see if that monitor has a fuse in it, which is highly doubtful, but maybe there's something simple like a capacitor or something that needs to be changed out. If you have any ideas about this, feel free to comment below, let me know. Otherwise, let me know how this stuff looks. You know, I hung the light up over there. I'm not doing the umbrella right now, so I have a little bit more space between me and the wall. Got the camera up right here, which is okay. You know, not a lot of complaints. At least I can do my hat and keep the light out of my eyes. Thank you so much for being here and for subscribing. You know what I really appreciate is people being out there sharing these videos. That is a huge help to what we're trying to do here, which is to get the word out that Lyme disease is a serious problem in every single state. It's not just Lyme disease. There's other infections that ticks carry which are particularly nasty. We're finding out some evidence that says Lyme disease is probably sexually transmissible, which is a nightmare, but people aren't taking it seriously. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, was the stigma. The stigma that patients endure, the marginalization, when all they're trying to do is just get recognition and possibly even support for going through this, not having to go through it alone. But that's where we're at. We're at a point now where if somebody starts talking about chronic Lyme disease, and it's been this way for a long time, they're very quick to be shut down. I've had people block me when I try to talk about persistent Lyme disease. I had a guy that came to me, he said he was in South Carolina, he had Lyme disease, he was going to see the infectious disease doctor, and he would let me know how it worked out, and then he came back and he just like unfriended me, blocked the friend request feature, and he just wouldn't respond to any of my messages. And I think that's probably because I was promoting the Morgellons, which is a real condition that is associated with Lyme disease. But people don't know that, they don't want to hear it, and I'm pretty sure the ID doctor, I'd like to find out though if he told him that I was crazy and to stay away from me. But you know, that's the kind of marginalization condition that people endure when they're going through real health conditions like this. I see a lot of people get on Facebook, get on Twitter, they're promoting their health condition, what they identify with. You know, Morgellons isn't something you really ever want to identify with, because you've got open, oozing, bleeding lesions all over the skin. It's particularly nasty. Nobody appreciates it. It's a health concern for everybody involved. But the problem is when they start saying that the only reason that guy's got sores is because he's picking at his skin and he won't stop. He's obsessed. That's where it becomes a problem, because that isn't true. That is not factual. And I know there's people out there telling people about that, even though they don't know what my skin looks like. You know, I really don't have any sores right now. I just don't. And the thing is you can come back from Morgellons too, but people have to know that Morgellons is a real skin condition. That it's not some kind of made-up thing that I'm just doing so I can get some attention on here. I'm on here because I do not want people to go through what I went through with this skin condition, which was disbelief, marginalization, and blame. You know, people didn't want to believe that this was happening to me, even though it was clear that, no, I'm not picking these things. You can't really pick your skin so that the color lightens up to a bright pink and creates these branching arms coming out from the center of the sore, and there's these jelly-looking plug things clogging up the skin pores, and you can't do that just from picking. You know, this is something where an infectious agent is obviously involved. Now, I know a lot of people out there have seen people who mistakenly believe they have Morgellons. Maybe they believe they have Morgellons and they got the sores, but you just didn't believe them because you didn't think Morgellons is real. The thing is, we have to get to a point in society where it's accepted that some people do have Morgellons and other people may be mistakenly thinking they have Morgellons but are literally dealing with something else. It doesn't mean that they're delusional, they just may have the wrong idea. You know, with Lyme disease, it gets into every part of the body. The integumentary system, the brain, everywheres. And it's going to affect every single one of those organs and systems in the body once it gets there. I mean, we're talking about little microscopic corkscrew-shaped bacteria whose sole purpose is to do damage and to try to thrive and survive inside your host. So the first thing we probably want to do is explore, why is this happening? Why are people being talked bad about just because they have chronic Lyme disease or Morgellons? And the reason is because of a concentrated effort of misinformation. I really want everybody to look into the Tory lawsuit, where these Lyme disease patients brought a suit against all the major healthcare insurers. And essentially what happened was they had to settle out of court, because there was clear evidence that these patients were being marginalized. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but recently, if you've got prescriptions from your Lyme disease physician, your insurance is more than likely starting to cover those. Everything, even the weirdo meds like the cholestyramine. And it's efforts like that which have brought Lyme disease to the forefront of American society. It used to be, you'd see things like episodes of The Simpsons where they were making fun of people who thought they had chronic Lyme disease.
You see, class, my Lyme disease turned out to be psychosomatic.
Does that mean you're crazy? No, that means she was faking it.
No, actually, it was a little of both.
And now you're seeing the opposite. You're seeing all these celebrities coming out saying, yo, I got Lyme disease and it's horrible. And you're seeing more and more support for the patients that have that. But you know who's not getting more support from the Tory lawsuit? That's right, Morgellons patients. Morgellons patients are still stuck in the same rut where family members don't want to believe it, doctors want to blame them for having it in the first place, and when it's clear from a pathological report that this person has this skin dermopathy, the doctors are likely to just walk out the door and leave the patient on their own. This has got to change. It's really not that bad to say, oh, you've got Morgellons? Well, you have Lyme disease, and we understand that that's a situation, but we're going to try to treat you with the best available science. But oftentimes that's not happening. You have doctors going, I don't want to learn anything new, and relegating patients to psychiatric medication, which is not going to address their underlying medical condition. Lyme disease is a bacterial infection, and people need antibiotics to help address that condition. The later they have it without being on these kind of specific treatments, the harder it's going to be to get that infection out of the patient. The longer these patients go without treatment, the harder it's going to be to get that infection out of the patient, because Lyme disease likes to colonize inside the body. As a matter of fact, we've only known since recently that these bacteria thrive by commandeering proteins inside the body to fashion a habitat for which they can shield themselves from the immune response and antimicrobial therapies. I'm not crazy, I'm sick. is the title of a new movie which addresses this particular phenomena, where patients are marginalized, dismissed, and neglected by the very community who vows to take care of their health. So when you go to a doctor and you tell him you got the Lyme disease and he tests you for it and it comes back negative, but he's smart enough to understand that these tests are not reliable and that if you have had tick exposure and you're having these weird symptoms that are consistent with Lyme disease, and that would be pretty much everything because Lyme disease is a great imitator class infection, at that point you should be treated preemptively. If you have a negative Lyme disease test, but you think you've been exposed to Lyme disease and you have had tick exposure, there's nothing wrong with treating for that. Antibiotics are everywhere, and we eat them every day in small amounts in the food that we consume. Marijuana is a potent antimicrobial agent, and it's hypothesized that that is one of the reasons why people may experience uncomfortable conditions when they consume marijuana, because it is killing that pathogenic microbial bacteria that is deeply rooted within their bodies. But the greater evil is to not treat the infection and to allow the patient to go on and for this infection to not only persist, but evolve the habitats that it's creating inside the patient's body with every other pathogenic microbial species that it can get along and communicate with. I'd like everybody to take an opportunity to go out and check out Dr. Bonnie Bassler. She is the incredible scientist who discovered that bacteria communicate with each other and they have a unique language. Not only that, but different species of bacteria have different languages, yet they have, over the billions of years they've existed, evolved to communicate with each other. And they do that to coordinate their construction effort inside your body. And once doctors realize that, and once the general public understands that, then it may be a lot easier for patients who are dealing and struggling with Lyme disease and Morgellons to get the care we desperately need. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Again, thank you new members. Thank you existing members. Thank you everybody who's made time to share this video on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Reddit. We're going to get the word out there. We're going to let people know that we have the science that shows that Morgellons is a real skin condition associated with chronic Lyme disease. And we're going to make a difference in society. Talk to you soon and have a great day.